I don't think everybody like wants to see your butt, but I mean, do your thing, girl. Hello, you guys. What's up? And welcome to my bedroom. You know, ironically enough, you guys are the first ones to see my bedroom after my breakup. So I feel like this is like really, you know, a big step for us. There's a few different reasons why I'm in my bedroom right now. First of all, it's because I got my period last night and I am really feeling it in my regions. Also, I have a flannel wrapped around because I'm so bloated right now that I'm like, maybe if I suck it in, it'll really keep it all together. Also, because I got a brand new mattress and this mattress has seen zero action. Okay, so I thought maybe I would show her some love, or him, whatever it wants to identify as. I thought I would show my mattress a little bit of love and put it to good use. Speaking of my mattress, this is the perfect segue to let you guys know that this video is actually in partnership with Birch Living. I'm quickly gonna tell you guys a little bit about Birch Living and why I love their mattress so much, and then we will get into today's video. If you guys have followed me for a long time, you guys know that my sleeping schedule is all over the place and that I don't get much of it. So when I do get to sleep, it really means a lot to me. So sleeping on a regular schmegular run-of-the-mill mattress is just, it's not an option. What I love about Birch Living is that Birch Living makes organic, non-toxic mattresses made right here in America with just 4 materials that are sourced straight from nature. They're made with organic latex, New Zealand wool, American steel springs, and organic cotton. As I've been getting older, I've really learned the importance of how I spend my money, and I feel like it is really important to buy organic, and that is why I really like Birch Living, because I'm really trying to incorporate more organic and natural things into my lifestyle. Each Birch mattress also comes with 2 Eco-Rest pillows that are made from recycled plastic bottles, and they're actually really breathable and they don't make me sweat when I'm sleeping, which is really nice, and it's great for the environment. What's also really nice is that if you so happen to be in the market for a new mattress, you can actually go mattress shopping for your new mattress right from the comfort of your old mattress. This mattress compared to my old mattress is literally night and day. I mean, I don't know the shelf life of mattresses, but my old mattress is like 6 years old, and what I will say is that it was creating like a dip in the middle. So it was like I would get into bed and I almost immediately had to just like sink into this like dip that was forming in my old mattress. So that one is now out the door, and this one is so comfortable, and I feel like I sleep right through the night and I'm not tossing and turning and like trying to get out of this dip thing. And also what's really good about this mattress is I don't have to really worry about it falling apart in 6 years because there's actually a 10-year warranty on this mattress. If you're someone that's thinking like, I really don't want to buy a mattress online because I would like to test it out before I commit, I thought the same exact thing. But the good thing about Birch Living is they actually give you a 100-day free trial. So you get the mattress, you have over 3 months to test it out, and if at any time you feel as though this relationship with your new mattress really isn't working out, all you have to do is let them know and they will come pick it up for you and you will get a full refund. They just really make the process of buying a mattress start to finish really simple, and I will say I think the best part is that it delivers straight to your door. It comes in, well, you guys saw it, but it comes in this box and it comes all rolled up nice and tight. I will say, as a single woman, it is really heavy, so I did need help getting it up the flight of stairs, but after that it's so simple to just put it on your bed, and it was really easy. But they do deliver for free in the United States, so that's awesome. I've been really loving my new Birch mattress, and I feel like if you were in the market, you would love them just as much as I do. So if you go ahead and click the link in the description box below, or you go to birchliving.com/katyhodges, once again, that's birchliving.com/katyhodges, you will receive 2 free pillows and also $200 off of your purchase. Once again, I wanted to give a big special thank you to Birch Living for sponsoring today's video, and I also always want to thank you guys for allowing me this platform and giving me these opportunities and letting me really, you know, live out my dreams of doing my dream job and creating videos for you guys. So yeah, I always want to thank you guys and make sure you guys know how appreciative I am. With all that being said, let's get into today's advice column video. All right, you guys, I'm literally gonna kick back and relax because my uterus hurts. Also, really quickly before we get started, if you would like any type of advice, I'm going to put my email address on the screen. All I ask is that you put in the subject line whatever advice you need. Also, just let me know if you would like to remain anonymous or not. Trisha says, "Hi Katie, I just watched the breakup video. I felt really moved by hearing about your experience of your relationship. I really struggle with holding on to my boyfriend too tight and having extreme jealousy. I really admire your spirit and belief that love means allowing the other person to be completely themselves and never control them. I'd really love to connect with you and hear more about how you find the strength to completely love your partner for who they are and not fear losing them or not being good enough. How did you handle dropping your boyfriend off at a strip club or accepting other women having the hots for him? I really want to be more like that in my relationship, especially because my boyfriend is completely this way. I want to love him no matter what and be so happy if he were to ever find someone else that makes him happier than I do. I just get so much fear and jealous rage almost. I really struggle with him having female friends, which I'd like to get over because he has more female friends than male friends. So she has a few questions. Where do you find the strength to love the way that you do? Well, I feel like this honestly stems from my childhood, to be completely honest, and I don't want to say anything negative about my parents. Let me just put it this way. I was raised very, very, very sheltered. I had parents that really, really loved me, obviously, and I don't think that they knew how to necessarily convey that love. So the way that they conveyed it was to just like hold on to me for dear life. I know that my parents have always told me that they've always loved me unconditionally, but from my perspective, I feel as though it was always conditional, just because I felt like if I wasn't doing the things that they wanted me to do, I didn't feel that love from them. I also believe that the way that I was raised is a direct result of the way that they were raised, so I don't necessarily blame them for being the way that they are, because I truly believe that people are a product of their own environment sometimes. If you don't have the strength and the will to try to be different. But my parents are very religious. My parents are very conservative. So yeah, a lot of my kind of more different lifestyle of living wasn't always something that they really liked about me. So having someone be so controlling throughout your whole entire life, instead of me ending up a product, sorry, cat around me. Instead of me ending up being a product of my environment and knowing how hurtful it could be sometimes to feel like I was only really loved if I was doing something that made them proud as opposed to something that just really made me happy, I never wanted to be that way. Through years of therapy and through years of talking to people about this, I really made the conscious decision to try to be different and not end up a product of that environment. And that is why I really, really just want to love someone for who they are, because you yourself may not be someone that has ever felt the way that I have felt. So maybe you don't know what it's like to feel like someone only loves you if you're doing what makes them happy, or someone only loves you if you're being who you want them to be. And maybe you are, I don't know. But I'm just telling you the reasons why I feel like I can be that way, and those are the reasons why. Trust me, coming from someone who really rebelled as a child, I feel like I did that because I was like held on so tight. And sometimes when you hold on to things so tightly, it makes them just want to pull away. How did you find confidence and love in yourself that you don't look at your relationship for value? Like I said, I feel like this once again stems back to just how I was raised. And when you don't feel that love from outside sources, you really kind of like have to rely on yourself for that. So once again, therapy, like a lot of it, okay? But I also will say that I learned a lot from my first relationship I was in, because that was probably the only relationship that I've ever been in that I was really dependent on anyone. I went from moving out of my parents' house at a very young age. I was a little over 18 years old when I moved out, and I moved directly into my ex's home with their family. So I became really dependent on my ex and their family for a lot of things at a very young age. I didn't have a job at first. I didn't have my license when I first moved in with them. I really felt like my only source of happiness was my ex and their family. When that didn't work out, I had nothing. I really had to start from scratch, and I had to get my own place, and I had to get back on my feet, and I had to learn to make myself happy. After going through all that and learning that when you're completely dependent on someone else for like your well-being and your happiness, I was like, oh my God, I can never do that again, because I never wanted to feel the way that I felt after I lost it all. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm 125 pounds. After that breakup, I was 96 pounds. I have a picture actually, because it like I like, do you hear like the crack in my voice as soon as I talk about it? I'm on my period. I don't get emotional when I think about my ex because like I swear to God there's literally no feelings there whatsoever at all. But I get emotional when I think about that girl because if I actually have the picture and I save it in my favorites my camera roll, so I can always like look back at it whenever I'm feeling like a little whatever about myself, because I look back at that girl and I see how far I've come, and I just don't ever want to allow myself to get to that point again. So that's where that strength comes from as well. Knowing that if I got through that, then I can get through anything. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I was a wreck. I lost my job. I literally lost my job because I couldn't mentally get it together to even go to work. Like I would be at work and I would hear a sad song and I would just like lose it. Like I would break down. So after going through that, I promised myself that I was gonna get out of that and I was gonna come out on the other end a better person. So yes, I guess I have built up a pretty like strong exterior, but where some people might look at that and think that I have a problem, I don't look at it that way. And as much as people can tell me that there's something wrong with me, and I'm only saying that because I did get a lot of comments in my last video of people saying that there's something wrong with me. I've really come a long way, and I see that as strength, where as much as I will love someone, I can't and I won't let myself completely be dependent on someone for my happiness anymore. I don't want to go back to that. And where some people might think it's romantic and it's a fairy tale and you want to be, you know, someone's other half, I don't want to be anyone's other half, and I don't want anyone to be my other half. I want to be a whole, and I want you to be a whole, and I want to come together, and I want to create magic. And I feel like that's where I really struggle with a lot of the men that I date, because to be completely honest, I feel like men really need to feel needed. And I will say that the one thing that I fall short in is making people feel like I need them, because I don't. It's funny because my girlfriend Missy said this and it really like stuck with me, but she was like, she told me that, you know, men really need to feel needed and women really need to feel desired. And I will say, I don't think I make men feel very needed, because I am very strong and I am very independent and I do have my own things and my own money, and I have everything for myself. So I don't need anybody. And I know that that's hard, because I know a lot of men feel purpose and feel value and feeling needed. So I feel like that's where we kind of like don't really mesh. But I don't know. I just feel like I've come a really long way, and I don't want to give up that part of me for somebody else. And I just feel like I'll find somebody else that wants the same things I do. And if I do, then I do. And if I don't, it's okay. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this one particular email, but she also said, what strengthens you after a breakup? The one thing that I do in relationships that I need to stop doing, and I learned this probably the most after my breakup with Trevor. I did not invite him onto my channel to say a single negative thing about him. So, you know, any type of like negative thing that was spoken when him and I were having a conversation, which we talked for like 2 hours and I literally cut it down to 30 minutes. But I would never invite my ex to film a video with me just to be like, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this. Like, I really feel like I kind of fell on the sword in that video a little bit, because I only really focused on myself. And it was funny because people were like, girl, you just talked the whole damn time and you didn't even let him talk. There was a lot more conversation that I cut out that you guys didn't see, because like I said, I did not want to say a single negative thing about him. It was kind of just to address everything and then maybe have like a little therapy session of my own. The weakness that I have in relationships, where I feel like I find the strength afterwards, is I'm a giver. I'm a giver and I'm a fixer to the core. I literally said that when I started doing this advice thing, was that I just feel like I'm a fixer and I'm a giver. So a lot of times in my relationships, I give and I give and I give and I give. And I feel like in the beginning of my relationships, the balance of power is always heavily unbalanced in the way that I'm giving and giving and giving, and I might not be getting anything that I need. And I feel like I'm attracted to people that I can care for and people that I can nurture. So when you saw me kind of trying to like argue Trevor a little bit, it's because there's the first breakup that we never really talked about. So we broke up twice. You know, we dated for 3 years and we broke up once. And then we got back together, and then we dated again for about a year, and then we broke up again. And the first breakup that we didn't really talk about stemmed from me feeling like I was the only one that cared. And he even said it himself. It was like, I think he said it very quickly, but then I cut it all out because, like I said, I didn't want to say like anything negative. But I feel like in the beginning there was an extreme imbalance of power because I felt like I was the only one that cared, and I felt that like I was the one that was like giving and giving and giving and giving, and he just didn't care. And that was fine because I knew that when I was getting into it, like I knew that I was dating a 23-year-old in Vegas that had just come from a farm town in Connecticut that was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and was really attractive and was, you know, probably had like so many temptations thrown at him. And here I am. I was like, you know, I want to get married by the time I'm 25, and I want to have kids by the time I'm 27, and I want to move back to the East Coast, and like I want all these things. And he's like, okay, cool. Yeah, it was like I really cared and wanted to like prove to him, I guess, in the beginning that I was like, you know, like wife material, and I was like always trying to like cook and clean and stay home all the time and never go out, while he like went out with his friends, and I would just sit at home in the bed alone, like, okay, like what's like, he doesn't want to be here, I guess, like it's fine. So like kind of like after 3 years of doing that, you know that saying that's like, let someone do what they want to do so then you would see what they would rather do. Like I just kind of felt like, okay, well, you know, obviously he'd rather be doing all these other things than be with me, so maybe this isn't the right thing for me. So then when I finally kind of got the strength to walk away, it was like a flip switch. And when he finally lost me, he was like, okay, well, I don't want to go out anymore, and I don't want to hang out with my friends anymore, and I don't want to party anymore, and I'll quit drinking, and I'll do all these things, and I just want you, and like I can't believe you left, and I just want you. I had already healed from that. Like I had already gotten over feeling so crappy about myself and feeling like not really like wanted, and feeling like I was the only one that cared about the relationship, that I already put up this like mental block and got over it. So then when he was the person that I wanted him to be, that's how we ended up trying things again, because I was like, okay, now he's everything I want. Like now he's, you know, he's not drinking and he's not doing all these things, and like maybe this could work. So when I went back, I really tried, but I was also really confused because, you know, in my head I'm thinking like, well, is he changing because he really wants to, or is he changing because he wants to be with me? I'm like going off on a tangent, and this is literally like breakup video part 2. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was just confusing because I definitely put up walls, and I definitely put up a mental block. So then when we tried again, I was trying to get back to a place of caring, and I was trying to get back to a place of, can I fall in love with him the way that I did the first time? But I feel like it was like I already had so mentally checked out and grieved the loss that it was really hard for me to check back in. I feel like how can I explain this? I feel like when I met him, I was whole, right? And I feel like when I kept giving and giving and giving and giving, it's a great analogy when people say that you're like pouring out of a full glass. So I feel like when I met him, the glass was full, and I was giving him a little, and I was giving him a little, and I was giving him a little, until I felt completely empty. And then I left. And then when we tried to work on things again, I felt like I was trying to pour from an empty glass. I tried for a year to get back to that place. I had such an internal struggle because I felt like I didn't want to let him go, because I was like, I think I can get there. I think I can get there. I think if I buy a house, I can get there. And I think if I just hang out with him every day, like I feel like I can get there. And I wanted it so bad. I don't even want to film this anymore. I'm just like so emotional right now because I'm my period. Like what a mess. But I just couldn't get back to that place.
And it was so hard because he made all these positive changes, and he was finally like the person that I wanted him to be, and I kept fighting with myself like, why can't you just get back to that? But at the end of the day, I knew that he could feel it, and I knew that he could feel that things were different. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. God, are these advice videos for me or for you, right? Like, Jesus. I knew that he could feel that things weren't the same. I knew that it was driving him crazy, and I knew that it was like really killing him inside. And as much as it like killed me to let him go, because he means so much to me, it wasn't fair. You know, I knew what it was like to feel like I was the only one that cared, and I didn't want him to feel that way. So the strength that I found after our breakup was just doing things that made me happy again, putting myself first and not putting someone else first. I guess metaphorically speaking, refilling my glass so that if I do meet someone again, I'm not pouring from an empty glass. So I'm just trying to build myself up to be whole again. And I feel like I'm like really killing it, you know, like I'm back to filming, and I love filming, and I'm back to, you know, filming more regularly, and this obviously is an escape to me, clearly. So yeah, I feel like I'm hanging out with friends, and I'm playing with makeup a lot more, and I'm playing with like new makeup a lot more, which makes me happy. And I'm hanging out with my animals and going outside a lot because I love to go outside. I'll do anything outside. But yeah, those are like the things that strengthen me after a breakup, just doing what makes me happy. Do you struggle with self-doubt or fear of not being good enough? I mean, I always, of course, but I heard somebody say this, and like I can't remember who said it, so I don't want to like feel like I'm quoting something that didn't come from myself. So this is not coming from me. But what you shouldn't fear is someone not thinking you're good enough, or someone potentially finding someone that they think is better than you. All you have to know is that you're gonna be okay if they do. And like I said, after my first breakup and going through all that, I know that if I could go through that, I could get through anything. I just know that the pain and the hurt is very temporary, and I'm not saying it's not going to exist, and I'm not saying it's not gonna kill me, and I'm not saying it's not gonna break my heart, but I just need to know that I'm gonna be okay. So I hope that makes sense. But Jesus Christ, that was so long. I'm so sorry. I feel like this video is gonna be freaking forever. So the next email is actually from a girl that would like to remain anonymous. She says, "Hi Katie, I love your videos so much." Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've been with my boyfriend for 7 years. Short backstory, we've known each other since we were 11, dated in high school, broke up, found each other again a year after graduating. He's always been affectionate with me when we're by ourselves. I realize that he's not as affectionate when we're out in public or when we're with his parents. When we're out in public and waiting in line or something, he gets in this weird demeanor like he's bored or doesn't want to be there, but snaps out of it as soon as we get in the car. I didn't notice it until I saw his older brother with his girlfriend. He'd kiss her forehead, lean on her shoulder, etc., even when we're at his parents' house. I've noticed that when we go over, he sometimes leaves me to the side to hang out with his family. I want to be included in the conversation sometimes, but I understand he may want some quality time with his family, which I told him before he can go over without me because they honestly want to see him more than me, which is understandable. However, he says he always wants me there and they want to see me too. I told him that sometimes I feel like when we're with his family, he treats me more like a friend. I told him that I'd noticed a difference between how he treats me to how his brother treats his girlfriend. He said he doesn't notice it, but it happens a lot. I don't want to make this a bigger deal than it needs to be, and I don't feel angry about this either. I do feel sad sometimes about it though. Should I brush it off? I don't want to come off as clingy to him. I don't think you're clingy at all. I mean, coming from someone who's very similar to your boyfriend, I don't think that you're clingy at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting to love on someone. Just because I might particularly not be that way, I don't think there's anything wrong with people that are. Like, I think it's really sweet and endearing that some people are that way. It's very normal that when you have something that makes you really happy, such as physical touch and such as having someone, you know, love on you and all these things, when it's taken away from you, it's very normal to feel deprived of that or to feel like you want it because it makes you happy. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think you're clingy. I also don't think there's anything wrong with your boyfriend who might want to save those more intimate moments for maybe just you or maybe behind closed doors. I feel like both things are okay. What I will say is that if you would like to talk to him about it, I wouldn't necessarily approach it from a way where
you're making him seem like he's doing anything wrong, because he's not. Maybe you can word it like this. Maybe you can say to him, I completely understand that you may not love PDA, and there's nothing wrong with that. I completely understand that when we're around your parents, you know, you don't want to be like touchy or feely, and I completely understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So then he doesn't immediately get on the defense and think that you're saying that there's anything wrong with him, because like as humans, I feel like we naturally don't want to hear people say that there's something wrong with us. So maybe you can say to him, I do think it's special that you want those more intimate moments to be between you and I behind closed doors. But maybe we can just hold hands, or maybe you can like let me like latch my arm around you, because I just love you so much, and I feel good when we do feel connected in a physical way. So for me, it would make me really happy if maybe we could like compromise and not necessarily be all over each other and kissing in public, but maybe if we could just try little things that make me feel more comfortable. So maybe if we are at your parents' house, we don't need to like kiss and hold hands, but maybe just sit next to me and put your hand on my knee. You know, a lot of times I really don't think it's what people say, it's how they say it. I think if you were like, listen, you know, your brother obviously has no problem with being this way with his girlfriend, so what's wrong with you? That would piss me off. Just being honest. And that would probably naturally make him get on the defense and say, well, why are you so clingy? You know, like, and you don't want that. So I would definitely try to make it seem like you're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. But there's also nothing wrong with me for loving you so much to the point where I feel really like loved and connected with you when I feel that physical connection, and you make me feel so good when we're at home and you are being lovey, and when you take it from me, I'm like, ugh, that kind of hurts a little bit. And seeing that you and your husband have been together for 7 years, that's incredible, and you guys should be like so proud of yourselves that you guys have, you know, been in a really loving and committed relationship for that long, because it's really hard nowadays. But I think that he obviously loves you a lot, and he'd probably be more than willing to, you know, do these little things. He probably thinks that he's giving enough, and clearly he's not. So I think that you guys should talk about it, and I think that you guys can come to a compromise. I really don't think he'd have any issue with like holding hands more and letting you hang on him a little bit, you know? So I am just gonna do one more because I focused so much on the first one. I did it in the last video where I really focused on the first one. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna get better at this. This is only like my second one, and I'm gonna get better at this. So this is from a girl named Hannah, and she says, hi Katie, I'm writing for advice for my friend. So my friend Paul's been dating his girlfriend Sophie for 2 years, and she's been acting weird the last 6 months. Last week, a guy from Sophie's dorm called Paul and told him she cheated on him 6 months ago with another guy in the dorm, James. It was a one-time thing when she was drunk, but they are still close friends. Paul doesn't want to break up and wants to make it work, but also wants her to move out, which is difficult right now because of COVID, and that she won't talk to James anymore. Sophie feels bad but doesn't want to move out and ignored James completely. Personally, I don't see it working out, but my friend loves her deeply and doesn't want to break up. Do you have any advice for how to come back after cheating and what to do to restore the trust? Thanks for reading. Hope you're good. Loved your last advice video, so figured I'd give writing you a shot. Love, Hannah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that you enjoyed the last video. Man, like I said, when I started these videos, I have my own perspective on things and I have my own beliefs on things, but my beliefs and my perspectives can be very different from other people's beliefs and their perspectives. My perspective on this is pretty harsh and cutthroat. If you have a different perspective, I encourage you to leave it in the comments below, you know, because when I wanted to create these videos, I really wanted to create more of like a forum, like an open forum in the comments where you guys can give your perspective and your advice. So if you feel differently, leave it in the comments below. And if you've worked through cheating, leave it in the comments below. But coming from someone who has been cheated on and has tried to work through it, I'll never do it again. I think if he wants to go through it, then as a friend, you have to let him and you have to support him on whatever he does. And listen, if there are people that have dealt with infidelity and have come out on the other end, I'm not discrediting your experience, and I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm just saying that for me personally, it's a deal breaker for me. I dealt with it once, I'll never do it again.
I dealt with getting cheated on multiple times, and I kept going back and I kept going back because I truly felt that eventually if they like got it out of their system that they would come back to me and I would be like the one and I would be it. But at the end of the day, all it did was create the worst trust issues. So when I talk about how like I'm not like a jealous person, okay, like you want to keep it real, I was a full-blown psychopath back in the day when I got cheated on. I'm not a jealous person now because I don't allow myself to get to that point. I'm at a point now where if I'm with somebody, I am not bothered by people coming up to them and, you know, giving them attention. Like I just can't be bothered because jealousy is wanting something that someone else has. And when I'm in a relationship, that person's mine. They're not yours. So what is there to be jealous of? I'm not jealous. He's mine, you know? But if the person that I am with is entertaining someone else, that's your man now. I'm not doing that again. I did that and I'll never do it again because that brought out the jealousy in me and that brought out really, really ugly sides of me that I will never let myself get to again, like bad. You and I can give him as much advice as we want, but people need to learn things for themselves. And it's really hard when you're torn between your head and your heart because your head will always, hopefully, know right from wrong, but the heart wants what the heart wants. And if his heart wants her, it's gonna be really hard for his head to tell his heart otherwise. And he probably will stay with her because it's just hard. It's really hard. But I get it. And you guys are young. You guys obviously are in college. Do I think it's gonna work out? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Because what she has taken from him is something that she's probably going to never be able to give back to him. And that's his confidence and his trust. And when you take that from somebody, it's really hard for them to build it back. And, you know, now it's like whenever her phone goes off, he's probably going to feel it in the pit of his stomach and wonder like who's texting her. If, you know, she puts her phone face down, he's probably going to feel that anxious anxiety of like wondering why. If she's 5 minutes late coming home from wherever she says she's going to be, he's going to be thinking like, well, is she with him? And it's just, you know, and that's where that kind of controlling behavior comes from, where now he's saying, oh, I don't want you to hang out with James and I want you to move out. And it's like, that's where that control comes from, is when someone makes you feel insecure and someone takes your confidence and someone takes away your trust. I really wish I had more advice, and this is where I'm kind of asking you guys if maybe you've gone through something. Put it in the comments below because I really don't have much advice when it comes to making a relationship work when that trust is broken and that confidence is broken and that self-esteem is broken, because I feel like it's only downhill from there. When you start that controlling behavior, like I don't want you talking to this person and I don't want you going here and I don't want you going there. Like I said, as humans, when you grip onto somebody so hard, it just makes that person pull away. That's why she's saying, no, I want to keep talking to James and no, I'm not going to move out, because it's just, unfortunately, it's just the nature of the game. But I wish him the best of luck, and like I'm really sorry because I know that that sucks. It's like the worst pain, like it sucks and I feel really bad, but like I hope that he's doing okay and I wish him the best of luck. But yeah, on that note, I am going to wrap up this particular video, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope that something resonated with you if you're going through something. And like I said, if you would like to write to me, I will leave my email in the description box below. Once again, I want to give a big special thank you to Birch Living for sponsoring today's video and for giving me this new nice comfy mattress, because it's really nice, and I'm going to be sitting on this mattress for the next 16 to 20 hours editing this video. So I love you guys so freaking much. Thank you guys for all the support that you guys have shown me on my last few videos. And for those of you that may have saw my breakup video, there's so much that transpired in 5 years, and I could never have made sense in 30 minutes. And I tried to the best of my ability to keep it super positive. For those of you that lifted us up in the comments below, I really appreciate it. And for those of you that lifted him up in the comments below, I know that he probably really appreciates it. And yeah, at the end of the day, doing this series means a lot to me. And if I have to kind of like air out negative things about myself or about relationships I've been in, I'm more than willing to do that so that you guys can kind of learn from things that I've been through. Like I said, I'm not the end all be all of relationship knowledge. I don't know it all. I'm just a girl who's seen some shit. So I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.